Hello. This is Kristina, your host today, and this is new episode of KSM PODCAST, Growing Business Online with Kristina. And today, I have such a pleasure and having my special guest speaker, far away from Australia, lady Linda Reed Enever. Linda, welcome to the new episode of KSM Podcast.
Thank you, Kristina, for having me, and congratulations on getting my name right. Not many people get it right when they're pronouncing Enever, so well done.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to pronounce your name and surname on the right way. So, Linda, what I know about you that you are marketing expert.
I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yes.
can you share with us who you are and what you do? As I mentioned that you're from Australia, for our
Absolutely.
listeners.
I am from Australia, and just to keep everyone correct, yes, I do have kangaroos bouncing down the street. And that is not a lie because we actually live on the back of a national park here, but not everywhere in Australia has kangaroos bouncing down the street. I'm what I call an idea strategist. I take ideas that people have and we put them together and we take them to market. Now, that could be the idea of how do we put a course together. It could be the idea of how to take something to market, or it could be the idea of fleshing out what your offering is going to be and how do you put that offering together in a way that's sustainable to deliver it and also sustainable for you to be able to continue to keep delivering it again and again. Because when we do stuff in business, we quite often don't think about what the replication or the factor is after I've got this done, what's the extra work that I need to do? Because there's always the launch and everyone loves the launch, but they forget the rest of the stuff that comes along in the journey.
And can you share with us, for our listeners, something about your maybe background in corporate world, and then how did you
Yep.
start your business journey? I think I have many
Okay. So I
questions for
have
you today.
never been a really good employee. So I started and I had my corporate career and I was a manager and I was running organizations and troubleshooting for organizations in my early 20s. So I always had a head for business and I always had a head for knowing what was right, what was maybe wrong in a business and putting my finger on the pulse and going, okay, we need to adjust that or do this from those sorts of things. So I was working as a consultant very, very early on. My transition across into the world of small business and marketing came when my daughter was born. We released a family website, and then we went into the world of. I went back into the world of marketing consulting at the same time. And I started working with small business owners, and I got rid of the corporate empire building and the people, manipulating things to be whatever suits them the best. And I came to work with small business owners, and I found my happy place. I love working with small business owners to take their ideas to market, share my knowledge and expertise with them, and working in that ideas phase, working at that initial phase when we're really excited and thinking about how do we do something in a clever and unique way rather than going, okay, we've got a $200, an hour ad spend, we could do this. So being able to think about clever and using good organic strategies to get the best results.
And this is fantastic, and I met you online through the social media, maybe for now, it was maybe 6 years ago. And I'm super happy when I saw what you do, and I know that, and I said, okay, Linda is such perfect marketing expert, and I really have and know how to learn from her. So, and when you start when you start your career and in your own business, how did you feel in that time, and what triggered you to start your own business journey?
My own business journey. Okay. I sort of knew that I was going to end up in business. There was always a plan that once I had my daughter, that I wouldn't go back to the corporate life. The type of jobs that I did weren't designed to be a mum. You weren't designed to be a mum and run that business because you'd be picking up to wherever the organization needed you to be at that point in time, and you could be moving. And like one of the companies I worked for, I used to move every 3 months. That's not sustainable when you have a child to go, right, come on, we're moving house, let's go, let's move on to the next place. So I sort of knew that I was always going to become a business owner. And very early on, I was consulting while I was trying to fall pregnant with my child. I was a consultant. I take a 3-month contract here, a 6-month contract there. I make my impact, which is what I call my marketing and what we do now as an impact coach. I make my impact, and then I would hand it over to someone else to continue the day-to-day running. I'm very much a person that will come in and just, fix what we need to fix and then hand it over, or be that ongoing coach that will work through to people. But ideally, I want my clients and my people to outgrow me eventually, so that they need a team of their own, or they need a marketing team, and they're not needing me as much as that process. How I felt, it just worked. It worked for me. It worked for, I didn't have time much to think about the business, how I felt about the business, because I had a child, a newborn baby. We had a business starting, and things were flowing into place. But what I didn't understand was bringing in my skill set, my knowledge and my expertise from that corporate world transitioned across really well. And what I try and support business owners with now is understanding that we're not buying ourselves a job, but we also don't have all those departments that we used to have in the corporate world that used to help us, the accounts department, the finance department, the bookkeepers. We've got to do all of that. So we have to wear all the hats within business. And I think lots of people come to business not understanding that they have to be across all of those things.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, And as you mentioned, when you got your daughter and just to be a mom, and you can running and juggling through the motherhood and take care about your kid and work, in your on your business, in your business and other. And when you and I think that through that, when you work for yourself as your own business, you have much more freedom to support, your business, and to work who do you want it to work with.
Absolutely. And, I keep saying this to people all the time, and especially because I work with a lot of coaches and a lot of small, people that are out there, and they're like, but I have to take this client on because I need the money. I'm like, actually, no, you don't. Because if you take that client on because you need the money, you might as well just have a job, because working with people you don't want to work with doesn't make this situation any better. It doesn't make it any easier to work through, all of those sorts of things. You got a business. Like, yes, we have to make money, but we want to be working with the clients that we want to work with. We want to be servicing the people we want to service. I was just at my chiropractor's this afternoon. We're having a conversation about booking systems. And he's saying to me, oh, but we still do use this and this and this. And I'm like, well, cool. Then don't look at a booking system. It's not the right time right now until your softwares will talk with a booking system. You don't even want to look at it. Your business is running and it's working perfectly. So it's also about understanding that you do what works for you in your business at that point in time.
Yeah, this is so important, And when you started your business, and you mentioned and you asked me how did you feel in that time, but when you were in the area of marketing too much or many years, and in terms of coaching, can you share with us? I think that you have many, like I don't know, not say sub businesses, but in terms of who help people how to create some softwares to support them, organize many events, And I know that you run such a big group, Facebook group, business,
Yeah.
which I part of it and member. And this is how there are, it's such a big number of members there. So can you share with us about it in terms that someone wanted to start business and move in terms of to create a group, let's say, or something like that, what would be so useful and beneficial for our listeners about their business if they have business idea and wanted to start, or they're in business and wanted to move into online space?
Okay. So really wide questions. Both of them are very wide questions about
it's
how
a
you
big
would do this.
question.
So let me tackle
Very long.
the Facebook group component of it to begin with. The Facebook group, when you do it, you've got to have some planning and some systems behind it. You've also got to have a really, really thick skin. So if you are going to take people going, I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with that, or, I think you're a horrible person because you decline my post or you close comments on my stuff, then please do not jump into the world of Facebook groups, because that happens on a daily basis. Someone will disagree with our group guidelines and how we run the group. You've also got to have time to run a community. So, it's not something that you can even really forget about when you're on holidays. You need to be checking in just to make sure that that community is running. And we've been running business for 10 years now. We do say that we're different to other groups out there. We have strong guidelines. We are moderated. We do stuff for the community. Like during COVID, we led through that process. Now now in our 10th year, we're bringing out our questions answered with a business strategist and a marketing strategist to jump in and help business owners be able to tap into a little bit more of Clive and my expertise without the noise of the rest of the group, I suppose, by registering to come in and have those Q&A sessions. We've then got networking hours and that sort of stuff that happens in there. But that group requires, even on weekends, one of us to check in and just go, yeah, cool. Are those posts going okay? Are the conversations going okay? And all of those things from there. So community building as it sits, whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's through a school, whether it's through a membership, takes time. And if you're prepared to lead a community, then you can have an amazing following come behind you. But it is an investment of time. It's not a free thing of, oh, hey, I'm going to start a Facebook group, I'm just going to sell my stuff. Or I'm going to start a community, I'm just going to sell my stuff. That isn't how it works. It is all about making sure that we delve into that space and we give our people the best opportunity they have to network. And I have other marketers inside my Facebook group. I know I'm not going to suit every particular member there about how we're going to market our business. There's other business coaches, there's other strategists in there. And I even inside my marketing circle membership, so my membership where my paid people come in and they get that one-on-one contact with me, I have marketers in there learning how to market their business and how to take the next strategies and the knowledge and the expertise that we have in it. So starting an online community or starting in online business and building an online brand, and that's most probably where we need to sit around, comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to time. The content that you put out there, like you're putting out the podcast, takes an investment of time. It's then got the editing that comes post-podcast that needs to come into place. So it's all about breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. What can I take on? What can I do next? What step can I get out there? And the same with business. Don't expect to sit down over a week and go, right, I'm going to have my business launched. It needs that plan. It needs that little bit of strategy along the way. It needs the opportunity of going, okay, what do I want my website to be? What do I want my products or my service to be? And then starting to build and flesh that out. And then you'll go through the process of what I call a soft launch, where we've let people know that the business is there. The website's starting to index itself on Google. We're starting to look for our Facebook pages and owning our social media assets along the way and ticking those boxes. But in the meantime, in the back end, there's all this business operational stuff that has to go into place. So it's the legals, making sure we've got a privacy policy, making sure we've got the right accounting software, making sure that if we need to register for tax, what type of tax we need to register for. And all of these things go through that little bit of a process and that little bit of a checklist. And the advantage that you have with communities like Business is being able to come in and learn from courses or read the online publications and the magazines and help you through that journey. It was a broad question. I hope I've answered it in some way.
Yes, so it's such a, because from your expertise and I know from your knowledge and your practice, as you mentioned, 10 years is such a long time of period running your group, and and thank you for sharing about procedures, about policy, all those kind of things what people, what entrepreneurs need to know about it, because it's not just starting a group and that's it. And also you can do it alone because you need someone to delegate it in behind the scene to run Absolutely. And to update.
And look, 90% of the people inside business most probably think that I run it. Now I am watching it 90% of the time. But there'll be days where I'm out and I'm on leave and members will message me. I'm like, no, report it to the admin team, like follow the process and procedure so that I don't have to look at what your comment or your post is or in relation to those sorts of things. So it's also about establishing really good boundaries. So really good boundaries for what we're doing inside in the group and the guidelines, but also really good boundaries for business. And also really good boundaries then with friends and family that's saying, okay, well, these are my work hours. I work these days. I'm not available. You can't just pop round for a cuppa. You can't do all of those sorts of things just because you're working from home.
Yeah, and this is fantastic, so, but as you mentioned, we need time to develop our business. We need time to build any kind of a community, and this is a very, this is obligation. This is, you need time, you need energy, you need to learn, every single day just to know how to do it.
Absolutely. We don't come into business knowing everything. My advantage was my corporate career brought me into business knowing systems, policies, procedures, all of those sorts of things. But did I know web design? No way. Was I used to having a web design department to do stuff for me? Absolutely. So when we built our first website, it was a dog's breakfast because I was trusting the contractors I was hiring to be able to do the job for me. And when they said no, that couldn't be done, I was used to the teams that I used to work with that when they said no, it couldn't be done, I trusted what they said. Whereas I learned within business that, okay, maybe that person can't do it, but someone else can do it for me. And how do I find the solutions and how do I knit the things together? The business community, when I started it, everyone told me I would be gone and done with inside 12 months to 18 years. I even had people who'd been my friends in business come in and tell me it's not sustainable. You will not be running this group inside the next 2 to 3 years. I had friends that I had to kick out of the group because they just would not understand the guidelines and those sorts of things. Well, they weren't friends. They were the business friends that I had to kick out of the group because they just wouldn't follow the guidelines and procedures. I've had people come and personally attack me, my husband, my daughter, and say things about all of us going through that community and that space in a way that you wouldn't say it to someone face to face in the online world, and they keep coming. So running that group and running a community, or even establish any form of an online presence. And I say this to most of my clients: as soon as we get our first hater, we know we've made it. We know we're good. As soon as we got the first hater, we know we made it. But it's also about having that boundary and setting up those foundations. So by having a admin or a moderation system for something inside business, if someone's coming at me, I step away and someone else takes it over. Okay. And that's always been our process and system. And, I am fortunate having Clive work in the business with me to be able to do that and go, okay, this one's yours. Feel free to take it. Or doing it from those sorts of things. And the times that we have issues in that group where someone pushes the boundaries is when I let my boundaries go down, where I go, oh, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they, or it's coming at me. It's not coming at the girls. Or it's not coming at, one of the other members of my team. Whereas if it was coming at one of the other members of my team, I would have slapped them, shut it down 10 minutes ago and go, no, no one talks to my team like that. Bugger off. But the reality of it is when it's us, the person facing forward, we will question, we will let the self-doubt kick into gear. And what we need to remember is we're not here to serve everyone. We're here to serve the people that suit us and suit our business moving forward. And the rest, if they don't like it, can jump off the cliff and go wherever they need to go. Because I learned a long time ago, and it was said to me inside that whole time of chaos when everyone said that we will not survive, it's not a God-given right to be a member of a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I remind people of that. Just because we run the group does not mean you have the right to be a member of it if you don't follow the community guidelines, if you don't follow that process, and you don't treat the members in the community with respect. And it's like everything. If we build a house on quicksand, we're going to lose the house. So we want a solid foundation behind everything that we do within our business. Otherwise, we're going to be playing catch up and trying to stop that house from sinking when, we don't have a foundation underneath us that will ever keep us up.
When you mention all those kind of things, and we need to follow up procedures. And as you said, this group is not for everyone, just for people who should follow up procedures, guidelines, and everything. This is professional. And can you share with us a little bit your experience with, there are people, and nowadays that they said, okay, I do it. I post every single day, three times per day, per day and everything. And people just don't comment. People just they don't have a return of, just don't have clients from there. So maybe you can share with us some tip or advice for people who share it, and they just, they're like, okay, I don't want it to post anymore. I don't want to any kind. It's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Maybe you can share with us. Maybe I don't know what
I don't measure the right
tricks,
type of engagement,
but maybe
though.
from your experience, maybe some kind of tip, advice for our listeners who
so my big
is
thing
going to be disappointed because if they don't get clients from there.
90% of the time when people aren't getting engagement on social media, they're looking for the wrong type of engagement. They're wanting, I must go comments, I must go viral, I must do this, I must do that. The reality of it is viral videos only create noise you have to break through if it's not viral for the right reasons. So we want to be attracting the right people. You are better to have 50 people engaging with your content and watching it and running it through. So there are multiple metrics when it comes to engagement, not just comments. Okay, the view time, the length of people watching. So if you have 50 people watching your video all the way through, or watching 60% or 80% of that video, that is a much better stat than having 22,000 people watch 30 seconds of it, because that 30 seconds is unlikely to be the converting point. Okay, so they're what back to going, I've taken enough of this, but I'm going to scroll up or I'm going to scroll down. So the first metric we should be looking at is not how many people watched it, but how long are they engaging for in the content if we're putting a video out. The same from a social post. How much are we putting out there? How often is it going out? Is it going out when our people are online, or are we just spraying it out there and hoping it's going to work when we think we're available to post? Because we are not our target audience, okay? So when we're around doesn't mean our target audience is going to be around. So we need to deliver that content using the insights and the stats throughout that process. And a like, a thumbs up, a share is equally engagement as a comment. So you don't need people to be commenting if they're getting value when they're giving you that like or that thumbs up. I think we've put so much pressure on the world of how many comments did I get? How many engagements did I get? Those areas, rather than going, what's the percentage of the following base that I've had? And Kristina, you've seen me say this inside business multiple times. I would rather have 1,000 engaged business owners that support each other than 33,000 that want to tear people apart. And I've always said it. That is not who we are. We are not a community that's going to tear each other apart. So if you want to find that community, you find that space. If you want to support people throughout the business journey, then this is where we are to be. This is where we are. And from that point of view, when you put your content out there, when you put your information out there, have a look at other metrics other than just comments. But also, don't prejudge your audience. Just because you like using LinkedIn, just because you like using Facebook, just because you like using a platform, doesn't mean that that's the platform where your audience is. Because if you're the coach or you're the person selling it, you are miles ahead in the journey to where your potential market is.
And this is the way I think that we as entrepreneurs need to discover, to research it. Where is our market? Is that correct? Or
Absolutely.
what is platform? But we always talk about ideal clients, and maybe there are people who are at wrong platform. They just can see it, and they don't see conversion, or they can many likes, just like, but they don't get any clients from there, or.
But once again, it comes down to the mix and the message. So are we actually asking our clients to take action, or are we just spraying a whole heap of content out without any call to action throughout that piece of content? Creating a piece of content isn't just putting a post up. Creating a piece of content is writing the message, getting the video, getting them the message right, encouraging it to either the content itself will have an action that you want people to take. It's either to follow, it's to like, it's to comment, it's to share, or it's to engage. And the engage might be the call to action to book or to download a freebie or a lead magnet or an opt-in. And I can 99.9% say that people who are not getting conversions from their social media are forgetting to promote and ask people to take that next step, because they think they've marketed their business really, really well. And I've done it so much, and I want to make sure, I've done it. And I'll go, one of the first things I'll do is I'll jump to their Facebook page, their LinkedIn profile, whatever it is. And I go, okay, cool. Well, the last time you actually asked someone to buy from you was, 14 days ago or 13 days ago or 2 months ago. And just, if you think you're not getting conversions, that's the first thing I want you to do is go to your profiles and see when was the last time on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, that you asked someone to take the next step, that you promoted that book or that product for someone to be able to engage with. And the same within the Facebook communities. If you're promoting your stuff, when did you let the community get to know you? When did you share your knowledge and your expertise? Or are you just going to jump in and go, hey, I've got a podcast episode. Here, you should listen to my podcast episode. Why do they want to trust, Kristina, for example, when she puts her podcast in? Because she shared knowledge and expertise with that group throughout that period. And she's built that know, like, and trust factor. If they're not converting, they don't know enough about you yet.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, so true. And this is the way how we are in progress, and how we raise up our expertise through the posting, and as you mentioned, it's so important to have call to action. As you said, do follow up or like, or download or whatever may be. And Linda, can you have, as I said, I think that you have some school of marketing, something like that. Am I right? Maybe you
We
can
do.
share
We
with
run
us.
the Enever group.
And who do you work mostly with? Who are your clients? Who do you coach them one-to-one, one-to-group? Just share with us about you a little bit for our listeners to know you, to get deep inside and connect with you more. So
okay. So we run the Enever Group Business Academy. The Enever Group Business Academy is self-paced learning for people to be able to come in and take courses from both Clive and myself about business. So, things like how to write a media release, how to set up your marketing, all of those sorts of things, or how to create your first online course. And that's all inside that space. From there, we do one-on-one coaching, and I hand select who I one-on-one coach with. So, there's only a certain amount of spots in my diary to get one-on-one coaching. And then I've got a membership. So where there is a membership option where you can come in and you can learn all things marketing and talk all things marketing with me in a much smaller group than the business community, because that's a group where we get together and we meet a couple of times a month along the way. Who do I work with? It's really simple. And I know everyone's going to sit here and go, but that's not niche enough. I work with business owners who want to make an impact and want to do something. If they're not prepared to put the work behind it, they're not my client.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And how before they start working with you,
yep.
can you share with us when they work before knowing you and after working with you, and maybe they just work 1 year, 6 months, depends in terms of their success after that, or what they achieve, and in terms of
Kristina,
impacting.
Every client I work with, because if we're doing a website design, the website is the end of the project. If we're talking taking a book to market, then we might go through writing the whole book, or we might go through creating the whole course, or we might do the impact. But one of the impacts that comes to mind most recently is we have our Marketing Circle members are going through a video every day challenge during the month of April. One of my clients, who's very busy with other stuff going on in her life, though, has programmed these videos every day. And she said to me yesterday in a coaching call with me, my sales are up. And she was resistant to doing the videos on a particular platform. I'm not going to mention what platform or anything like that, but she was resistant to doing the videos. She's one of the members. She's seeing it, and she's already seen an increase in conversion. What are we 10 days into the month of April? So it's all about that sort of stuff. It's also most probably about the systems and the procedures and knowing how things are going to go. But because I work with such a diverse group of business owners, whether it's what they're coming to me for may not be an increase in sales. It might be a systems or procedures opportunity. So giving you an exact example that everyone does X, Y, Z isn't how I work. Like, we're working with the business owner inside what they want to achieve throughout that process. And their goal of success may not be an increase in 10 times the sales. And I'm not your 6-figure get rich overnight type coach. We're definitely along the lines of sustainably knowing and empowering you to be able to take on the jobs or hire someone else to do it.
This is fantastic. And you work online and offline as well?
I don't do a lot offline. I do a lot of workshops, do some workshops offline, but 99% of what I do is online and across time zones. I work with Europe, I work with the UK, I work with the US, and I work with Australia.
All around the world, and Australia.
All around the world. Yeah, absolutely. One of the jobs that I have is a Thinkific approved expert. So like the last February, I spent lots of time coaching with Thinkific creators as part of their program and those areas. So, that's on different time zones for me. So we do a lot of that. I do a bit of insight, but no, most of 90% of what I do now is online, because it makes me accessible to most of my market.
So how listeners can reach out to you? I will share all information about your website and social media, but just share with us how they can reach out to you and connect with you and join your group as well. Just business.
Absolutely. Find business on Facebook. You're looking for the Facebook group, and you're looking for the one that says about 32 to 33,000 members. That's the one you're looking for. Everyone else is a fake. I've done my job really well. If you type Linda Reed Enever into Google, you will find the platform that you want to connect with me on, whether that is Facebook, whether that is Instagram, whether it is anything and any other platforms from there. What you need to understand as a business owner is that we take small steps throughout our business day. So, if I've done my job well and do all of those sorts of things, then, maybe something like the 5-minute marketing deck is a great way for you to start working with me, where you've got a deck full of cards and you can choose what you want to pick out from me from there. But jump into the business. And if you want, to have a chat with me with marketing on the Enever Group website, so enevergroup.com.au, you can go to the website, you can book a call with me, and we can start that journey with a discovery call and have a bit of a chat from there.
This is fantastic, Linda. And I always ask before to the end of our podcast, to the end of our conversation, what I asked you many questions, and I really learned today and just a result for myself to be clear on something and what I was asking you, but also for entrepreneurs who wanted to start business. They have business idea, but they are stuck. Just like a final message to encourage them to start and just connect with you, because I know, as you are such a global expert, how can you help people to move forward and work together?
Okay. Connect with me, watch my content. That's the starting journey of anyone wanting to work with me. There is stuff out on my YouTube channel, there's stuff out on TikTok, there's stuff out there on Facebook. Connect with me and do all of those sorts of things. And if you want to jump in there and you want to understand what your marketing style is, I will send Kristina a free quiz that I have, and it's called What's Your Marketing Spirit Animal? Okay. And you can take that and you can get a bit of an idea based off that quiz result what your approach to marketing is. And that'll guide you through what the next steps and different ways that you can work with me from there afterwards. So that's most probably a good starting point.
Thank you so much for sharing. So when you type Linda Reed Enever, you will see and connect with her. She's a global known coach and marketing expert. So you can connect with Linda and you will get a lot of benefit and knowledge. Linda, what I wanted to say to the end of our call today, thank you so much for being my special guest speaker. You share such amazing story, knowledge. It was like so educational podcast today, and I'm super happy with that. I'm super happy to have you finally on my podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to connecting with your listeners. I'm sure that when they connect with me, they'll tell me they found me via the podcast, so we can have a bit of a chat from there.
So we are going to be on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Podchaser, FeedSpot. I will share all information, and we will get. And I think that we will get again very soon in some of our new episodes.
We can talk about more things.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And have a fantastic day. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.